an easy and delicious fruit jam, strawberry edition. Let's go. Welcome into Bricks and Mortar, an ongoing cooking series on my YouTube channel that focuses on foundational foods that promote well-being and longevity. I'm Justin, and one of my earliest memories as a kid was picking strawberries in the summertime. My parents and I would load up the car and drive out to the nearest farm, and we would pick strawberries. And as a kid, I used to put one in the basket and one in my mouth. And it got to be such a problem that the farmers would jokingly and not jokingly put me on the scale at the end to weigh me for how many strawberries I ate. But I spent my entire childhood just loving strawberries and would eat them any chance I get. And lo and behold, when I was cooking in restaurants, I stumbled across a recipe for a fruit jam strawberry edition. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and make my version of this recipe, and that's what we're going to do today. Let's get started. This recipe works for any type of berries: strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, and today I have 2 pints of strawberries. I put them in about a half gallon of water, and I use vinegar and baking soda. Today I'm using red wine vinegar, which I prefer, but any vinegar will work. I combine the vinegar and baking soda in the water and give it a good stir and let it rest with the berries for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, I come back and gently use a slotted spoon to remove the berries, leaving as much of the dirty water behind as I can. Then I dump that nasty grossness down the sink and rinse the berries one more time. Now with other berries like raspberries, you have to be very gentle as you rinse and toss them to get rid of the excess water. Now it's time to cut up the strawberries. I usually cut them in 4 depending on size. You can cut them smaller, however, I would not recommend leaving them whole. It would be too big and clumpy on the fork. Once the strawberries are cut, it's time to make the bouquet. I'm using dried bay leaves today because I could not find fresh bay leaves. I'm using fresh basil and fresh thyme, and I tie them up with butcher twine. Now it's time to grab the scale, and this is where a little math is involved. I'm going to take the total weight of the strawberries, which is about 843 grams, and then I'm going to take 1/3 of that weight and add that amount in granulated sugar, which is roughly 281 grams. Now, my total ingredients for the recipe are the 281 grams of sugar, lemon juice to taste, strawberries, my bouquet of herbs, and kosher salt to taste. Next up, it's time to turn on the Control Freak Breville commercial induction burner. This thing is legit. I add in the strawberries, the sugar, and the bouquet and mix everything up as it comes to a low temperature. And I also add a little kosher salt. Okay, at this point, I have got the sugar and the salt and the strawberries and the fresh and dried herbs in here, and they are working hard. So it's going to take a little bit of time. We can't rush this process. We just have to let the strawberries slowly cook down and let that sugar and salt and herbs and everything do its thing. I do have some lemon juice I'm going to add a little bit later in the cooking process. I've already added my salt, and we are about 196 degrees on the pan according to the burner, and we just want this to be low and slow. It's going to take a little bit of time for everything to break down. This whole process should take about 45 minutes to an hour. I prefer to keep it on a low simmer. As you can see, the strawberries will break down more and more over time, and I recommend stirring frequently. As I mentioned, I do have lemon juice to add, but I prefer to wait towards the end of the cooking process. And the reason for that is, it's hard to tell the natural acidity and flavor of the fresh berries as they can vary. So I like to wait until everything has a more consistent base layer of flavor and then add the salt and lemon juice to taste. You can see now that it's cooked down and reduced by about a third. It's nice and thick and has a great syrup. And it will thicken up more once it has a chance to rest. If you'd like to have it a bit more mashed up, you can use whatever the hell this thing is called and break up the strawberries a little more, but I prefer to leave them just like they are. And now I'm going to add that extra salt and lemon juice. I'm going to stir and taste and adjust the seasoning as needed. That is absolutely perfect. Now we're going to transfer it to a deli container and we're going to put it on top of some ice cream. Look at that. Just beautiful. So to recap, this was about 900 grams of strawberries, a little less, about a third of that weight in sugar, salt, lemon juice to taste, and then a simple bouquet of fresh basil, bay leaves, and fresh thyme. Now, I prefer fresh bay leaves, but I didn't have any and I couldn't find any at the store, so I just ended up using dried bay leaves. My response to that is do better, Phoenix grocery stores. Should be able to get fresh bay leaves. Come on. So as you can see here, this sauce is just amazing. I call it a sauce because it almost is a sauce. Fruit jam, sauce, whatever you want to call it. Super simple, super easy to make, just delicious. It goes great on ice cream, it goes great on toast, it goes great just taking spoonfuls right out of the container. So add this in to your summer rotation. Now we're going to put it on some ice cream. We're going to see what it tastes like. I love to add a ton of this amazing strawberry goodness to ice cream. And today I'm topping it with some fresh crumb cookies that I had laying around the house. All right, bowl of ice cream, some strawberry surprise, some crushed cookies on top. Let's give it a taste. This is so incredible. I wish you guys could taste this, which is why the recipe is down below. Make this ASAP as possible. Work this into your summer recipes. It's going to be your new favorite addition. Super easy, super simple, great crowd pleaser. You're absolutely going to love it. All right, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Bricks and Mortar, an ongoing cooking series on my YouTube channel where I focus on recipes with foundational food that have an emphasis on well-being and longevity. If you like this, please click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Got a ton of new content every week, from book reviews, cooking videos, product reviews, life advice podcasts, all part of the Saturday is Saturday Media Network. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on Bricks and Mortar. Have a great day.